Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be following up the prediction video I made at the beginning of the year, predicting who all will be champions by the end of the year 2023 and going into year 2024. So yeah, this is a follow-up video. I think I predicted about 4 of 12 or 5 of 12, and basically you could say 4 of 10 or 5 of 10 because both of Amanda Nunes' belts that she vacated are still vacant. The women's featherweight is vacant. The women's bantamweight is vacant. So basically you could say like 10 belts because, yeah, 2 of them, there's no one in those weight classes. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first off, in the women's strawweight division, I predicted Weili Zhang would still be the champion, and she's still the champion, so that's 1. Yeah, like she went out there, she dominated. I think she'll go into next year dominating as long as she doesn't have to, I guess, face Rose Namajunas. And I think she still should beat Rose Namajunas. I know she's down 0-2, so on paper, Rose Namajunas definitely has her number. But I feel like things have definitely shifted a lot more her way now. And she, in that second fight, she was trying to change her game plan. I mean, like with just like one training camp, and in a big fight, that's kind of hard to do, and she still was able to do that pretty well and lose a very close decision to Rose Namajunas. So I think a third time around, I think she should be able to beat Rose Namajunas. But again, on paper, Rose Namajunas got her number. But outside of Rose Namajunas, I just don't see no one really beating her at strawweight for a good little minute right now. But yeah, so she's the champion, and she probably will be the champion by the end of 2024 as well. Now on to the next weight class we have in the women's bantamweight division, and well, flyweight division, not bantamweight. We got flyweight, then we got bantamweight, then we got featherweight. It's like 4 women's divisions. So yeah, women's flyweight. I think well, I predicted that Valentina Shevchenko would still be the champion, but she's not. Alexa Grasso was able to come in there, and I did not expect her to be the one to beat Valentina Shevchenko, and she did. She went out there, stopped her. They had a rematch. It was a draw. So Grasso's still the champion, and I think she fights her again, she'll probably beat her, but I was definitely wrong on this one. Was it a bad prediction? Not, but Grasso's the champion, and I think going forward, I just don't think Valentina Shevchenko will beat her. Just how the fights keep playing out. So yeah, Grasso's the champion. I definitely think there's a lot of people that, not a lot of people, I think Blanchfield should beat her, but we shall see. And also talking about a super fight with Weili Zhang, or somewhat of a super fight, or a champ fight. But if she fights Weili Zhang or Blanchfield, I think both of them beat her. But only time will tell. I didn't predict her to be the champion, so it's not like it's no shut and seal that these other women would beat her. I feel they would, but clearly I was wrong on her, at least in her first title fight. Well, yeah, the fight she won the belt, I didn't pick her, and she won that. So she already proved me wrong. Was proving me wrong again. Like, no long stretch of that. Now to the third one. Well, the next one we have in the women's bantamweight division, vacant. So Amanda Nunes was supposed to be I predicted her to be a champion. I feel she still would be champion if she didn't vacate and just retire. And short story there. I think, well, I'm not going to get on to who I think will be the next champion. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, ain't going to talk too much about this one. Vacant belt. Women's featherweight division. Worst division in probably all of MMA, because like literally no one here right now, especially in the UFC. So, and that's vacant because Amanda Nunes retired. She was the champ, and now she's retired. So the bantamweight division, the women's bantamweight and the women's featherweight belts are both vacant. And there's not really no real interesting prospects as far as winning the belt. I think none of them really stand out like such amazing talents. I think they're good fighters and all, but they kind of just pale in comparison to Amanda Nunes. They can really fill the seat, like they're going to take the vacant belt, but it's not like right now I don't see anyone that could truly establish themselves as a outstanding champion just yet in either of those weight classes. They're more so it's going to be holding Amanda Nunes' belt. That's what it all seemed like. And yeah, so that's all the women's divisions. Now we go to the men's divisions. So flyweight division, I predicted this one right. I picked Pantoja to be the champion by the end of year 2023 and going into year 2024. And Pantoja made it 3-0 versus Moreno, and now he's a champion. And he also was able to get a defense before the year was over by beating Royval. So he's a champion. I predicted him to be the champion by the end of the year, and he is most certainly still the champion. So that was a good one there. But I definitely think he's kind of a vulnerable champion. I feel like that gas tank is looking like a concern. Sometimes the striking defense is not there. He can be a bit sloppy on offense as well. And it seems so far winning the belt and defending the belt was just holding on for dear life, basically, to get a decision victory. A lot of points we look very vulnerable, and that's just not a good look, especially so early on in his build. I can see if he was like 5 defenses in and he was like, about to retire, like, this is happening, but this is just how you starting your reign off, just looking exhausted and going desperado for takedowns. Yeah, not a good look. He looks very vulnerable, and that he probably will lose the belt in his next fight or in the next couple fights. Don't seem like he'll hold on to it very long. And if that's how he's going to continue to fight, I just don't see him really deserving to hold on to that belt very long. But he was able to be Brandon Moreno's kryptonite not once, but 3 times, and maybe a 4th time. But on to the next weight class, the Bantamweight Division. I predicted, this is probably the worst prediction I had for the year. I predicted Ricky Simón to be the champion, and that clearly did not happen. He did not get a title fight. He got knocked out by Yadong Song. He got shut down by Yadong Song first. Like, he didn't really have the takedowns he wanted. Got outstruck, but he was able to go, 4 or 5 rounds before getting stopped. So kudos to him for, despite not having the fight he wanted to, but still been able to hang in there that long with a killer like Yadong Song. But ultimately, Yadong Song put him away, and he never got that title shot. And also with that, he never won the belt. So clearly that prediction did not go right. And Sean O'Malley won the belt. So I was wrong there. Aljo lost the belt. Sean O'Malley became the champion. Ricky Simón never even sniffed a title shot. So wrong there. But Sean O'Malley definitely got some star power, and I definitely think he has some potential to hold on to that belt. But I think he definitely has his biggest question mark coming up, in the early stages of his title reign, if it is to extend. Like, first off, got avenge the loss to Marlon Vera. That's a big one and a big if. Then you got Merab Dvalishvili sitting right there, and that's another big if, maybe an even bigger if. But if he can get past those 2 guys, I think he can go on for a pretty decent reign, maybe like a 3, 4, 5 defense reign. But big ifs, because he got his 2 toughest tests sitting right before him, like 1A and 1B, or whatever the case may be, like 1 and 2, his 2 biggest issues, biggest threats, sitting right there waiting for him. But yeah, wrong there. So far, 2 correct. And now on to the next one we have in the Featherweight Division. And I predicted Ilia Topuria would be champion by the end of the year, but unfortunately, it was not much defending going on at Featherweight. With Volkanovski went 0-2 to Makhachev in the same year. So more than half his fights for this year were taking losses to Makhachev. So first fight was a respectable, very close decision that you could argue he won. And then the second fight, he just got put away pretty quickly. Came in with no training camp, very short notice, and took it like he looked the part of a guy who took it like short notice, and he got finished pretty quickly, and only elevated Makhachev's legacy that much more. So, and this completely shut out even a 3rd chance, or even a dart of a 3rd chance at Makhachev. So now he just gonna go down in legacy 0-2 to Makhachev and getting starched in the 2nd round. People not even care the fact that he came up from nose, gonna say nah. Makhachev made improvements, and he showed that the first fight was a fluke. That's what it's, in the long run, that narrative is gonna look like, unless you look deep into it. But yeah, but as far as featherweight, I think who he had, he defended against Jair. I think that was his only defense of the year. He defended against Jair. And but next year, I think all he could do is fight featherweight fights. So he's definitely be fighting more featherweight fights, at least maybe 2, 3 if he even retains. But my prediction last year was Ilia Topuria, and I think my prediction this year is to Ilia Topuria. Like, he was just so busy taking those Makhachev fights that it prevented him from facing his fate. And I think his fate will be getting knocked out by Ilia Topuria, and Ilia Topuria will be the champion going into as soon as he gets a chance to, he'll be a champion in 2024. Whether he holds that belt to the end of the year, we don't know, because he definitely got some interesting challenges. Probably Max Holloway been his biggest interesting challenge. But I definitely think he gets past Volkanovski, in my honest opinion, and he will be the champion 2024. He'll get the chance he should have got in 2023. Now on to the next one. It was the lightweight division, and I predicted Makhachev will be the champion, and he was the champion, and he fully established himself as the number 1 pound for pound, and I was correct in this one. And so far right now, I just don't see no one at lightweight beating him right now. Just what he got, the Gaethjes and the Poiriers, who's going to be easy wins for him. You got Oliveira, maybe probably going to be another easy win for him again, unless he really comes in and locks in. And you got Arman Siyakiran, who's making improvements, but still Not going to be easy win, but the guy he should beat yet again. Yeah, I'm just not really saying no real threats to him, to be honest. Like, respectable opponents, I guess, but no real, I would say, I don't see any of them as legit threats to his reign. But only time will tell, but I think he retains his belt. I think his most interesting challenges will be if he tries to go up to welterweight. I think without Leon Edwards, looking at his last fight, he has a very good chance of beating him. With Leon Edwards locks in, I think Leon Edwards has a really good chance of beating him. And then there definitely are some other big grapplers. I don't think he want to fight Shavkat or anything. He really wants to try to get in right now and probably fight like a Leon Edwards striker, but probably try to win the belt and vacate it before he fights like a Shavkat or any of these big grappler or wrestling background fighters that can strike better than him and bigger than him. But at lightweight, he should hold that belt. Yeah, so now on to the next one, welterweight division. I predicted that Khamzat Chimaev would win the belt, will be the champion going into 2024. But Khamzat Chimaev could not even make weight or really didn't fight much at all this year. And his only weight class fight was I think he had like one fight this year. It was against Kamaru Usman at middleweight. So he fought the former welterweight champion at middleweight on short notice while he was prepared, full training camp and fully trying to adjust to the middleweight weight class. So really not anything of note, I guess, for him at welterweight at all. And I don't think he's going back to welterweight. So I feel like he's going to stick at middleweight and probably even try to fight at light heavyweight. But the more I see him, I think he's going to be one of those guys that's just not really going to become champion. He's not going to become a middleweight champion. He's definitely not going to become a light heavyweight champion. Probably going to get a lot of attention around himself, but probably going to get exposed very, very badly. Not like the Gilbert Burns, like slept out cold, ripped to the body, and crumpled up, embarrassed. So, yeah, he didn't win a champion. I feel like at welterweight was his best weight class to be champion if he could stay diligent and stay in shape and, stay active instead of trying to beg for title shots and talk his way into title shots instead of just doing what I know he was capable of doing. But, yeah, I think by fumbling at welterweight and allowing himself to get too big and inactive, I just think I'm not really too high on his chance of winning any belts or anything above 170. If he could somehow make it to 170, I feel like he might have a chance. But with Shavkat right now doing everything he can to, push himself to a title shot at welterweight, I think Shavkat probably beats him at welterweight now. But again, only time will tell. But yeah, welterweight, I picked Khamzat to be champion. He did not even fight at welterweight, I think, this year. So that one was wrong. Leon Edwards was able to beat Usman, and despite having lost him, went in there, beat him. Well, came back from being down several rounds, Hail Mary knockout, and then beat him again in the second fight. Much more clear and knocking him out somebody is just about as clear as you could get, but much more, I guess, winning rounds instead of just landing one big shot or one big kick, but actually winning the fight on points. Yes, that's what I mean, more so in the third fight. But yeah, Leon Edwards a champion by the end of the year, but he definitely looking vulnerable going into 2024 with how he looked in the Kobe Covington fight. Got Shavkat waiting there for him, got Bilal Muhammad there waiting for him. So he got Bilal and Shavkat waiting for him going into 2024, and maybe even Makhachev waiting for him. And I definitely think, as far as based off his last performance, he can't even be talking about super fights or fighting at middleweight or going up, because that's not the type of performance you win and say, oh, I want to fight the middleweight champion or do this and that. That's the type of performance we got to go back and you got to silence the doubters based on your last performance. But yeah, definitely not high on him going into 2024. But I'm not saying he's should lose his belt, but it's just not the case that I don't feel like he's dominant enough or he really has a strong hold on the belt, is what I'm saying. But on to the next one. Middleweight division, I predicted Alex Pereira to be in still, but Israel Adesanya managed to pull, I guess, what is that? The Cleveland Cavaliers versus the, I'm trying to reference other sports, against Golden State. Went down from 0-3 and then was able to get a win. He didn't come all the way back and win the series on him, but he did get his win, a win back on him and get the last laugh, I guess. But who knows? That rivalry is not yet dead. But yeah, I didn't think Pereira would lose to Adesanya. I went Adesanya winning all, but 0-3 is kind of hard to imagine that you lose 3 times to a guy in a row and then the 4th time you beat him. But Adesanya was able to do the impossible. He came back, beat him, stopped him in theatric fashion, cinematic fashion, and got him out of there. So Yeah, I thought Pereira would be able to beat him again and probably beat one other person or two other people and would hold on to that belt. But unfortunately, he got well, unfortunately for him, Adesanya was able to get his lick back, but then Adesanya immediately lost to Sean Strickland in the next fight. So a complete wild card. Sean Strickland won the belt. He's currently the champion. And another champion I'm not particularly high on to maintain their belt. Like, he definitely has a good chance to maintain his belt going into, like, by the end of the year 2024. But it's definitely not a thing I would say I'm banking on it by any means. I feel like he can beat a lot of people, and I feel like he can lose to a lot of people. He's not like such a solid champion, I would say, as far as winning and losing, or just, fighting the best of the best and coming out, is expected to dominate the people that's being presented to him, or just at least win against everyone being presented to him. So yeah, Strickland the belt, but I'm not super high on him to maintain that belt, to the next year or by the end of next year. And then we go to the next one. So where did Pereira's story go? He had a great into, I guess, 2022. Then he started 23, getting knocked out by Adesanya. And then he went up and he won like 2 fights and he became the champion at light heavyweight. So despite losing a belt at the beginning of the year, he still ended the champion by the end of the year. So he found a way. He started the year losing the belt, ended the year winning another belt at a higher weight class, and further extending his legacy and also becoming a 2-division champion in MMA to match his 2-division championships. 2-division champion in Glory Kickboxing. But he went over there. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought Jamal Hill would retain. But he got injured just like Jerry Prochazka got injured. But what I was expecting is Jamal Hill would win the belt, and I thought he would be the one in the position that Pereira would be in, and he would knock out Jerry upon his return. And I still think he would knock out Jerry, and I honestly think he would knock out Pereira, but only time will tell. But I definitely think, even more so than Pereira, like knocking Pereira out, I definitely would have foresaw Jamal Hill knocking out Prochazka. But injuries are happening. Not being in the best shape outside of camp happened. But Pereira won. I predicted Pereira, to knock out Prochazka when the fight was scheduled, but I did not expect the events to fold the way they did, or unfold like they did, like Pereira to lose to Adesanya, go up, and also Jamal Hill to get injured. But I definitely think Jamal Hill has a good shot to be the champion by the end of the year 2024. But it all comes down to legal issues and staying in shape and coming back healthy and being in his best shape. But I definitely think he could beat Ankalaev. Ankalaev's probably his toughest test. But as far as Pereira and Jerry, I think he could destroy Jerry. I think Pereira's a tough test, and I think Magomed Ankalaev is a tough test. And outside of them, I don't think no one else right now that's really present is a tough test. But who knows? Maybe Khalil Roundtree will be a wild card, but not really the best wild card. But yeah, good on Pereira to win the belt after losing the belt, and now adding another weight class's belt to his resume, or to his wall, to his trophy case. And yeah, now on to the next weight class, the heavyweight, the final weight class. In this weight class, I predicted John Jones to be the champion by the end of year 2023, and he is. So I'm gonna kind of try to tally up like how many I got right. I think I got 4 right of 10. I'm just gonna say 10 because there's no women's 35 or women's 45 champion. So I'm gonna say 4 of 10, I guess. But yeah, I predicted John Jones to be champion. I didn't think he would get injured. I thought he kind of would beat Stipe in impressive fashion, dominant fashion, and put him away, and then walk off into the sunset. But it was different. He won the belt and did not really fight much after. Well, he didn't fight after that. He won the belt and hasn't fought after that because he got injured in the training camp to fight Stipe Miocic. But yeah, I definitely think I don't think John Jones is gonna be the champion by the end of 2024. Not necessarily for losing, but more so probably doing what he should have done this year. Well, yeah, this year, beat Stipe and walk off to the sunset. He has nothing else to prove, but beat another legend, beat the greatest heavyweight in UFC history, and then call it a career. There's no need for him to, I gotta beat the next generation to prove something. He has already done about everything, and a lot of people mind he's the greatest MMA fighter of all time, if not number 2 or number 3. But yeah, definitely up there. No matter how you try to cut it, he's one of the greatest of all time, and that has to be another feather in his cap, his walk up to sunset. But going into the year 2024, yeah, it's kind of hard to sell that he's gonna be the champion, or is there's even a worth to the risk or much to gain by sticking around. So yeah, he won. He held on to the belt mostly expected, despite the, only thing was like the injury kind of a little bit made the narrative a little bit different, but nonetheless still was the champion by the end of the year. So yeah. So the 4 champions I predicted out of 10 were Zhang, Pantoja, Makhachev, and Jones. So not as impressive as I would want to be as far as my win-loss ratio with predicting the champions, like at the start of the year to be the who I predicted to be champions at the start of the year to be the champions by the end of the year. But a 4-10 is pretty good. Well, especially when I guess 2 of them were like kind of locks. Like Makhachev was basically a lock, Weili Zhang lock, John Jones like a high confident, and Pantoja probably high confidence as well. So I guess it wasn't like I didn't really get no crazy underdog. But the odds probably on those were like maybe Pantoja probably was like plus hundreds. I mean, they all probably plus hundreds except Weili Zhang. Well, Makhachev and Weili Zhang. But yeah. So at the end of the day, 4 of 10 on predicting the champions by the end of the year. And I'll probably do another video of this for the year 2024. Who will be the champions going into 2025, or who will be the champions by the end of 2024. But that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.